When you know you need to move the body, but you feel disheartened, depleted, or devoid of energy, small dynamic movements and static holds are enough to fuel movement of energy throughout the body. Remember, mood follows action, so find the courage to meet yourself with compassion. Do something that will fuel you rather than falter you. The energy will begin to follow, even if it's just a minor shift. It's better to find a little bit of movement than no movement at all. My name's Sherlock, and I'm so grateful to be guiding you through today's short flow. If you are already finding value, please hit the like button, show me some love, and help my content rise to the top. Let's meet on the mat. We'll begin by doing a little bit of a grounding breath work. So bring one hand to the belly, one hand to the chest, close down the eyes. Ground down through the sit bones. Really connect with the earth below. Lift up through the spine, starting from the sacrum, taking the lift all the way through each vertebrae, reaching up through the crown. Shoulders relax away from the ears, so there's almost a lengthening of the neck. Now take the breath into the base of the spine, into the pelvic bowl as you breathe in. Fill the torso like water filling a glass until the breath reaches the collarbone, reaches the throat. And the exhale is slow, it's controlled. It's not a deflation of the lungs like letting air out of a balloon. It's a controlled release. Noticing as the shoulder blades relax and melt down the back. And there's a gentle assist of the exhale as the pelvic floor engages and the navel draws toward the spine, so the abdominal muscles draw toward the spine. Just continue with that inhale and that guided, controlled exhale. Maybe you bring the breath to be Ujjayi breath, so we're contracting the back of the throat. Inhales and exhales are still through the nostrils, but there's that soft ocean-like sound at the back of the throat as the breath moves through and around the contraction. Gently release the hands to rest on the knees, eyes remain closed. Take the gaze to the floor below. Gently flutter the eyelids open. And just take a moment here with the eyes open to find that connection of the body with the earth and the breath with the body. If we can have that and find that connection with our eyes open, we'll be traveling through our days with a little more ease. Inhale now, sweep the arms overhead. Rotate the torso to the right. Bring the left hand to meet the right knee. You can gently rest the right hand behind. We won't be in this position for long, so just inhale, lift up through the crown. And as we exhale, sweep the right arm over towards the left shoulder. Gaze is up towards the right. Gently rotate the torso so that the heart shines a little more to the sky, and you'll feel a nice opening through the side body. Gently come back to center. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Rotate the torso to the left. Right hand comes to the left knee, resting the left hand behind as you inhale and lift up through the crown, creating space. Exhale, sweep the left arm up above and leaning over towards the right shoulder, the right knee. Navel draws to spine as you exhale. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, gently open the heart a little further to the sky. Inhale, come back to center. Roll over the knees. Draw the hips to the heels. Let's come to find Balasana, child's pose. We're going to move into a dynamic movement here. So as we inhale, wave the body forward, roll up to all fours, come into cat. Lower the belly, lift the chest. Exhale, arch into the spine. Draw the tail toward the heels, come back into child's pose. It's a nice slow movement. We're really focusing on the internal experience as we inhale and rise. Lower the belly, lift the chest. Exhale, waving the body, moving with the breath as we send the tail back to the heels. Inhale, wave. Exhale, arch. Just move the body to where it feels right for you in this moment. 3 more times. Be guided by your breath. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more. Focusing on the process more than the outcome here. Inhale now, rising to all fours. Tuck the toes. Send the tail to the sky. Move into Ardha Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. So you can gently move the joints, move the body, just allowing the movement to be guided by the breath. Come to find stillness now. The feet are about hips width apart. Internally rotate the elbows toward each other. Notice as the chest draws toward the thighs, the tail draws up and back as the inhale enters through the pelvic bowl. Filling the torso like water filling a glass. Inhale now, sweep the right leg to the sky, come into a 3-legged down dog. Rise up onto the toes of the left foot, bend into the knee and draw the belly towards the thigh. Take an inhale. As you exhale, wave the body forward. Draw the chin to the knee to the chin. Inhale, sweep the leg. Exhale. Wave forward, bring the knee to the chin. Inhale, rise. Exhale, wave forward. Inhale, rise. And exhale, release the right foot to meet the left. Just taking one breath here. Breathing in now, sweep the left leg to the sky. Rise up to the toes on the right foot, bend into the knee, draw the chest to the thigh. Exhale, wave the body forward, draw the knee to the chin. Inhale, send the leg to the sky. Exhale, wave the body forward. Inhale. Exhale, last time. Inhale, sweep the left leg to the sky. Exhale, release the left leg to meet the right. Come into your downward facing dog. Inhale, sweep the right leg to the sky. Exhale, draw the knee to the chest. Send the right knee behind the right wrist. Lower the hips, square the hips. Send the left leg to the middle of the mat at the behind. Inhale, rise. Maybe you're pressing into the fingertips as you find space, lifting up through the crown. Exhale, gently walk the hands forward. Maybe you come to the elbows. And if you're in a slightly more open body, maybe you're walking the hands out a little further, allowing the forehead to meet the earth. If you've got a block or a pillow or a bolster or some books, you can pop them underneath the forehead to bring the earth a little closer. Taking the gaze inward, really focusing on the internal experience rather than the external. What comes up for you through these beautiful slow movements? Just really pay attention to what's arising in the body. Inhale, gently walk the hands back toward the torso. Press into the palms, tuck the back toes. Come back to downward facing dog. Inhale, sweep the left leg to the sky, three-legged down dog. Exhale, knee to the chest. Step the left knee behind the left wrist. Lower and square the hips. Send the right hip to the back, the middle of the mat. As you inhale, lift up through the crown. As you exhale, gently wave and fold the body forward, coming to the elbows. Perhaps you're in a slightly more open body and you're able to move the arms a little further out and draw the forehead closer toward the earth. Breathe in. Allow the breath to be guided on the exhale as the navel draws toward the spine. We're really focusing on the process, bringing ourselves into the present moment. A lot of the times when we feel like we're just not in the mood, or things are tough, you're going through a bit of a hard time, everything seems and feels like it's really hard to do. Taking action, just action in this movement, can lead to a change in that mood. No matter how small the action is, the movement of energy will begin to take place. And you'll notice that what seemed hard for you before might be a little lighter. That's why we're taking these gentle movements now. So we've livened the body just a little bit with our dynamic movements. Now we're coming into our static poses to find a little bit of stillness. We've given the body what it needs, and now we can give the mind what it wants, which is that stillness and the slowness. Inhale, walk the hands toward the torso, shift the weight to the left, swing the right leg around. Just bring the soles of the feet to meet, coming into our Baddha Konasana, lifting up through the spine, so by grounding down through the sit bones, but we're also lifting the whole body away from the earth. So there's gentle engagement and activeness of the muscles. Maybe you grasp hold of the soles of the feet with the thumbs. Perhaps you're just resting up here. That's perfectly fine. Lifting up through the crown, lifting the body away from the earth. Exhale, hinge at the hips, fold forward, but maintain the integrity of the spine. So if you notice you're starting to round, that's your edge. Come back out, find the long spine, and just fold forward. Maybe the elbows are resting on the knees to give you a little bit more of an opening through the groin. Perhaps you close down the eyes. We're still focusing on that internal experience. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, soften. Inhale, lift the torso. Extend the legs out long. Again, we're going to fold forward into Paschimottanasana, maintaining the integrity of the spine, lifting up. As we breathe in, send the breath to the pelvic bowl. Fill the belly, fill the torso like water filling a glass. Exhale, hinging at the hips, folding forward, coming to your edge. Inhale, lengthen. Pay attention to the exhale as it softens through the guided, controlled, gentle contraction of the pelvic floor. Abdomen draws toward the spine. Inhale, gently rise. Bring the back to the mat. Soles of the feet to the mat. Send the knees to the sky. Press into the soles of the feet, lift the hips, shift them over to the right just a little bit. Extend to the left knee. Draw the right knee across the body using the left hand. Send the right arm out to the side, or if you're strapped for a little bit of space, maybe bring the elbow to a 90-degree angle, so cactus the arm. Send the gaze over to the right arm. And soften into this Supta Matsyendrasana. Inhale, unravel from the twist. Soles of the feet meet the earth. Lift the hips, shift the hips over to the left, extend the right knee. Draw the left knee across the body, left arm out to the side, gaze is over to the left. Really experience the breath as it blooms and blossoms from the pelvic bowl, moving through the twist, shining and rising into the collarbone. The exhale, guided and present as it gently releases and softens the body. Experience the breath's ability to open and expand those tight internal processes. And that guided exhale releases and softens any tension or discomfort. Slowly unwind from the twist. Shift the hips back to the center. Extend the legs out long. Feet about hips width apart, maybe to the sides of the mat. Allow them to fall. Arms by the side of the body, palms facing up. Gently tuck the shoulder blades underneath the chest. Draw the chin away from the chest, encouraging the natural curve of the spine. If they're not already, close down the eyes. Relax the muscles in the face. Release the tension in the jaw and the brow bone. Do a quick scan of the body as you surrender into the earth. Notice any remaining pockets of tension and attend to them now. And give yourself permission to release and dissolve into the earth. Allow the earth to absorb some of your heaviness. Bring your awareness back to your breath. Recognize its beautiful, natural rhythm, the peaceful inflow and the calming outflow. Begin to find movement in the fingers and the toes. Gently rock the head and neck from side to side. And when you're ready, roll to your most comfortable side. Notice how the body feels. Notice how the breath feels as it enters through the nostrils and fills the body with that beautiful pranic energy. With your eyes closed, gently rise to a comfortable seat. Arriving back in the moment. As we inhale, sweep the arms over the head. Draw in the energy of your practice and cup the energy in the palms of your hand. Exhale, sweep the hands to heart center. The light in me sees and honors the light in you. Namaste. I hope this flow has helped with getting a little bit of movement happening throughout the body, a little bit of movement happening through the internal processes, which will then help to uplift your mood, even if it's like the slightest little bit. Action is what creates our mood, so mood follows action. One little thing to remember. So when you're feeling really heavy or you're feeling like you're just not in the moment and it's not the, movement is not something that you want to do, don't even have to roll out the mat. Just maybe start moving the arms, moving the body, the torso around, and you might find that your mood will begin to change and it'll begin to shift. Keep making magic in this world from your space at your own pace. Namaste.